Hello, chat. Hi. Welcome back. I need to type things. I need to post that I am live. Oh my gosh, they adopted the thing. Anyway, alrighty. Sorry about this slowness. I have the power of something compelling me. Actually, it's the power of the creative muse that has compelled me to write literally up until like 2 minutes before the stream started. So I had to haul ass, basically. Had to haul ass to get everything running. I mean, I had everything pretty much up and ready to go. So that's all fine and dandy. I also discovered that I think YouTube doesn't actually let the link play out on, for Twitch on the YouTube side, which makes perfect sense. Of course, the platform is going to be like, why are you advertising? Yep, it's oh my god, YouTube. Jeez. So competitive. Oh shoot, that's important. Well, shit. Okay. Yep. 1 second. I gotta do a bunch of random admin stuff. Okay, cool. Cool. Got that. I had to confirm an appointment, basically. Okay, I confirmed it, right? Okay, cool. Sick. Alright, I'm gonna star that for later and not open it. Oh my god. So much stuff is happening all at once. You know what? Why don't we get ourselves to the console, and while I do a bunch of random admin shit, I will also play the game. You might be wondering, Yelfang, how the hell are you gonna do that? Well, I'll tell you. I am a master of multitask. Oh my god, my hip is out. Oh. Maybe I'm not a master of multitasking like I think I am. Alright, let's continue. Okay. Oh, peachy. Okay. What the heck? Wow, that is a lot. Okay, and then last one. Huh. Interesting. Very interesting. Let me see. I'm gonna have to turn down the volume on this thing. Okay. This is what I get for getting distracted by my stories. On the bright side, though, hey, I worked on my stories. Downside, though, I did not work on much else today. I'm gonna be dead serious. The clock pissed me off last night, and I was too lazy to take the battery out. I think I remember now why I took the battery out. Actually, the battery wasn't even out. I remember now why I didn't replace the battery in the first place. Because instead of a ticking sound, you know, a ticking sound would be fine. It's rhythm. It's a regular thing. A shitty motor constantly running is not. That just does not work. So I am in perpetual hell. And part of me is like, get rid of the clock. Get rid of it. Just get rid of it. And the other part of me is find a way to mute the motor a little bit so then it's not so noisy. And then the one that won out was me just putting on some music so I could fall asleep. It worked. It certainly worked. I still was a restless sleeper and ended up taking a nap this afternoon, hence why I didn't get any particular work on anything except writing done. Which is fine, it's fine. I fully expected it. I have come to expect that every once in a while this is just gonna happen. So that's the whole shebang. God, is this thing broken again? Oh, I better keep an eye on where I'm at, otherwise I'll get knocked into the door and then have to die on purpose. Okay, not a bad start. Let me make sure everything's working. Okay, there we go, yeah. Had to do a test chat just to make sure. Because every once in a while the app just breaks on me for no frickin' reason. So, that's a first for me. Whoo! Another round of level grind. Now, as of current, we're over 25,000, so I don't think we're gonna get under 20,000 tonight, but I will try. I will certainly try. Where are we at the moment? Let's take a little peek. Yeah, we just hit below 26,000 yesterday. And then I got distracted by my rock collection, which is honestly very, very on brand for me. Super on brand. It was also nice to have the rock collection out and look at it. It was a nice little nostalgic moment for me. So it was totally worth it. Let's be real. It was totally worth it. I love my rocks. They're so pretty. They bring me joy. Oh my god, my hip is freaking killing me. Holy shit. I have got to reconfigure a couple of my chairs. Because there's the one that's in front of my streaming desktop, which is, it's fine. It works. But it's not really great for long-term seating. And then the other one, oh my gosh. It's basically a bar stool. I have a bar stool as my chair. It has a back, thank God, but it's a bar stool. So it sucks by default. Bar stools are not meant to keep you there forever. They're meant to be there for you drinking. Not for, and certainly not for folding your legs like a frickin' pretzel, which is unfortunately what I tend to do. And unfortunately, because I do that, my damn hip goes out. I'm getting bullied by my inability to fold and my lack of fitness probably too. Oh dear God. Why do all my joints hurt? I don't even have arthritis. I'm gonna just complain. I'm not gonna complain the whole stream, okay chat? Don't worry about it. Fear not, I will not complain the entire stream. I will only complain part of the stream so long as the pain persists. So basically until either the pain stops or I just suck it up and decide to get myself a acetaminophen and call it a day. And shoot, I do not take that very often, so. It's serious when I take that stuff. And it's not one of those, oh, it's poison or whatever things. I just try not to regularly take pain medication because I don't want to build up a tolerance to it. Because if I build up a tolerance to it, it ain't gonna frickin' work. So yeah. And I kinda need the pain meds to work. Why am I tasting... Why is my brain giving me the active taste of acetaminophen right now? It's like, oh, you're thinking about it? Would you like to taste it right now despite the fact that you have not had a pill? No. No, I would not, brain. Stop doing that. It's gross. They aren't very tasty, by the way. A fun little fact there. They're not tasty. They suck. Making myself sick just thinking about it. Oh, man. Yeah. I will say the story that I was writing has brought me so much flippin' joy. It's ridiculous. I am having a blast. The original draft had like 6 POV characters, and I've cut it down to 4 for now. And I'm really happy about it. Because it's going to give me a lot more time to develop the 4 characters that I still have the POVs for. I'm really happy about it. And it's really funny because one of them I almost didn't choose his point of view because I was like, maybe it'll work. And I'm like, no, it just does not work without his point of view. So, yeah. He got to stay. Yay. We got equal distribution of male and female POVs at the moment for the characters. It's a fun little magic story. I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have fun. It's great. It's gonna be drama. Drama with a D, not trauma. I mean, there is trauma, but it's more of the stuff that happened in the backstory, rather. Being a writer is so fun. You get to create your little characters and then put them in situations. Pretty sure that's how the Star Trek writers felt whenever they were writing an episode where the characters were just going through it. They're just like, let's put them in a situation. Gene was like, okay, situation time, let's go. And then he would not address the consequences afterwards. I'm gonna slightly bully him for that. Okay, maybe, okay. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna bully him for it just yet. I still need to watch the original series. I've only watched seasons 1 and almost all except like the last 8 episodes of season 2. But I'm getting some hints. And actually, you know, I've thought about it. They do actually address some of the more traumatic experiences that happen. Like, for example, the episode that I was yammering about yesterday, 18 people died in that episode. They died off screen, but they still died, and it was like super serious. And one of the characters, who was like fresh graduate from the academy, was like, I can't stop thinking about it. And LaForge is like, you gotta focus, girl. Which is like something, which unfortunately is something you have to do. Like, you have to grieve, unfortunately in those situations, you have to grieve later. You gotta focus on what's going on right the hell now. In the active danger situation, it is not wise, it is not necessarily the safest option to break down and grieve and stuff like that. If you're in an active situation, you gotta first get out of the situation, and then you can fall apart. It'll be safer that way, is what it is. That's what the whole deal is. It is totally valid to fall apart, though, in this situation. Granted that. Gotta grant that, at least. Whee! Yeah, but I was thinking about that, and they did still keep... I can tell they've kept some through lines so far. Like, they don't just... With the episodic nature of specifically the Next Generation, they do still keep some of the through lines going so that there is development over time. It's not just a complete reset of the status quo. Like, they learn a thing or two here and there. There's things that are addressed later on. Like the whole thing with the Traveler in season 1 and his mentioning to Picard, yeah, Wesley is gonna be a big deal. He needs to be prepared for that. Like, that has carried on. And they haven't forgotten about it. Picard certainly hasn't forgotten about it. And they still reference the previous episodes that Q was involved with. What else? This one is a little bit debatable on it being positive just because of, like, how it is, but Tasha still hasn't been forgotten. Like, at least in Data's case, he hasn't forgotten her. Granted, their hookup was a drunken hookup and stuff like that, but she still meant something to him, and so she hasn't been, like, just killed off and left behind. She still played a narrative role. Yes, kind of in a way to help the guy character and stuff, I know. But I think just allowing her to still matter in any shape or form means a lot. Especially since it was like the 90s and stuff like that. Which the 90s were a little bit better than the 60s for stuff. And the 60s, Star Trek was really, like, as they say, woke. And they get so bitchy about things being mildly equal and stuff. God. But, like, Star Trek made a lot of major strides. Like, there were major strides in the film, in film and television for Star Trek. You had women in similar equal roles to men actively working on the bridge of the ship. Like Nichelle Nichols' character, I always mispronounce her name, Ura. She was a big deal. Nichelle Nichols' character was a big deal in film. She was an inspiration to a lot of African American women I think, is that the proper term? She was an inspiration to a lot of women, though. Hell, she almost quit, and Martin Luther called her up and was like, "Don't quit, girl. Stay on. Stay on." Like, she's super important in the film industry. She's a major part. Just, the series wasn't messing around. It's not just in the fandom sphere that Star Trek made a huge impact. It's in a lot of things. There's a reason why, as campy as it is, why it's such a big deal and why it's stayed in the cultural... Is it the cultural zeitgeist that they call it? That one always confused me. I should look that up. Chat, guess what time it is? You know what time it is? It's time for Yellowfang to search up a term. Because you know what? I am one of those folks who just picks up on the meaning of words. Oh shit, no, my pixel circle. No! I need my pixel circles for when I built random round houses in Minecraft because I am a heathen who likes to use the circle thing. What am I looking for again? Zeitgeist meaning. Fuck off, AI. It is the general intellectual, moral, and cultural climate of an era. Okay, so what? Hello? Hello? So what is... Okay, so what about cultural zeitgeist meaning? That, let's be more specific. Fuck off, AI! Die! Shit! God, it's pissing me the fuck off. Why do I have to scroll so damn far? Just to get... not bullshit that is synthesized across the board. I don't care if it's accurate, they say. Fuck that shit. Sorry, I'm really cranky. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry! I didn't mean to upset you, my girl! I was just bitching about AI. I'm sorry! I'm sorry. You're a good puppy. This pup is so sweet. Oh my gosh. My poor girl. I'm sorry. Hey, Ham. Hey, excuse me. Excuse me, young lady. What are you doing? Oh my god. There are conversations happening. Okay, so zeitgeist, general intellectual... I don't think that's the actual word that fits with this. Well, I mean, it... stayed in the cultural zeitgeist... I'm not sure if that's the proper terminology for that particular thing, but there's a reason why it's had staying power in a lot of the world. Maybe a lot of the world? I have heard stories of, like, this one couple, they got together, they met at a Star Trek convention, and neither knew the other language. I can't remember what languages they were. I think one of them spoke only Polish and the other one only spoke a different language. But they were both Trekkies. And you know how they communicated? They communicated in Klingon. That's right, they learned Klingon, and so that's how they communicated. God bless nerds and their willingness to learn languages of any series that they watch. It is the best thing ever. It's incredibly sweet, honestly. So I'd say there's a reason why Star Trek is such a big thing. I think that's the better way to put it. I love how I spent like 5 minutes trying to figure out the right wording. But you know, it's important. It's important to get accurate communications across. Because I'm not just going to use a fancy sounding word just because it's a fancy sounding word. I'm going to use the words that actually mean what I think it means. You know? It's good practice. And then I'm not just saying shit and getting it wrong. I mean, I could be... I am just using it in the context that I've heard other people use it in, like, similar contexts. So maybe it makes sense, but maybe it doesn't. Who knows? Language changes in a damage over time format. Everything changes. Ready to unfold. so I don't hurt my joints anymore. Oh. Man. Storytelling is so fun. It's one of the many reasons why I got into Kingdom Hearts in the first place, was because of the storytelling. And some of you might be like, Kingdom Hearts storytelling? You got into it because of that? Honey, I might have you might consider me to have low standards, but honestly, this is fantastic, and I can explain to you the entire plot of Kingdom Hearts in not too long. I don't have to take hours and hours to do it. Basically, once upon a time, do we want to do this chronologically or in release order? Let's do it chronologically. Okay, as far as back as I remember, once upon a time there were lots of people with Keyblades, and they all were in like 5 factions gathering lights and stuff like that. And they're the leader of, and one of the leaders, the leader of the leaders of the factions, he gave them a book of prophecies and was like, here you go, have fun, bye. And left them kind of lost and confused. Eventually, they all ended up infighting, and most of them died. And now you get the Keyblade Graveyard. After most of them dying, there were still some survivors that were often referred to as the Dandelions. Some of them are contained in a data world. Yes, that is actually what happened in there. There's also some other intrigue going on with the new Union leaders, or the new faction leaders. And some of them get sent forward, some of them stay in the data world. There you go. That's Union Cross in a nutshell. Then we get to Dark Road. Some other of the Dandelions, I guess, survived and continued on, and that's where you get 2 boys and their friends, Master Ericus and Xehanort. Those 2 are the only survivors of a bunch of shit that goes down in Dark Road. I'm not too familiar with that. So afterwards, they're both kind of scarred and traumatized from that whole ordeal. And then, meanwhile, Xehanort, his younger self, gets to go on a little fun adventure. A little escapade and time travel adventure. He goes on his whole time travel convoluted stuff, but we'll just skip ahead to when both of them are old men. Ericus is now training 3 kids. Terra, Aqua, and Ventus. He ended up training Ventus after Xehanort was training him, tried to make him do the darkness thing so that way he could forge the Keyblade, and after that whole thing failed, Ventus managed to somehow still summon a Keyblade because his heart met up with Sora's in the place he was dropped off at. And so Xehanort was like, oh, okay, we still have a chance with this. He's a pure light. There's a pure darkness going on that I just literally ripped out of this poor thing. By the way, Ventus is one of the Union leaders from the second round of Union leaders that was sent away in forward in time, basically. So Ventus has just been through hell and has already had his memories wiped once. This is round 2. This poor kid. Round 2 of memory wipe. Anyway, Xehanort decides to finally enact his plan a little while after Ventus has been training with Ericus, and he does it during Terra and Aqua's Mark of Mastery exam. And the Mark of Mastery exam is basically their way of saying, this is a test, you get to be a Keyblade Master if you pass it. You can both pass or neither of you pass. Aqua's the only one that passes because Terra shows a little bit of darkness during the whole exam. Terra has no freaking clue how that happened. To be fair, he apparently is obsessed with power. He's basically Ericus's favorite boy. Let's be real here. He's very, very much loved. He's the favorite. But he's also not, like, favoritismed, which is probably good for his sense of self. Maybe. Not sure, actually. He does have apparently a little bit of anger issues or something like that, but he's actually one of the most trusting. Anyway, Terra and Aqua are sent out to defeat these things called Unversed. They're a threat that feeds on negativity and stuff like that. And while they're going out, meanwhile, Ventus is told by this random masked boy, Vanitas, that by the time he catches up to Terra, Terra's gonna be gone. Because Xehanort has plans for Terra, but he doesn't know that. He's not going to tell him that Xehanort has plans for Terra. So Ventus goes chasing after him. Aqua is told to send him back, at the same time as also being told to basically watch out for Terra. everybody reads it as spying, but really, I think she was just told to watch out for him and make sure that he was okay, keep him safe, you know? And she cares about him too, and she has total faith in him. She has complete faith in him, but she also ends up seeing a bunch of bullshit that happens. Which is, by the way, most of it is not Terra's fault. Yes, he is way too trusting to people, but I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't think Terra really did anything wrong. He was pulled along, strung along, and manipulated by Master Xehanort. Fuck that guy. Anyway, God, I still get fucking incensed at that one cutscene. Mad. Anyway, so they get through. Terra slowly uncovers that, yeah, there's some sketch shit going on. Ventus keeps getting harassed by Vanitas to forge the Keyblade with me, fight me, battle me, forge the Keyblade with me, blah, blah. You gotta clash. And then Aqua also keeps getting harassed by Vanitas just because I guess he wants to throw hands. I don't frickin' know. He's got some weird ass beef. Also, Terra runs into this guy, Bragg, who is also a setup for pulling him closer into the darkness, killing his self-esteem, and making him lean more on Master Xehanort. Again, fuck Master Xehanort. And Bragg's a little sketch guy. He's got his own backstory, but we don't find out the truth of that until the very end of Kingdom Hearts 3. We don't find out anything about him other than that. At first, we all think, okay, this is the be-all end-all of his little backstory. Oh god, this bitch. Oh, oh, fuck that guy. Anyway. So it all comes down to it. Terra is basically forced to fight Ericus because Ericus almost kills Ventus because Ventus confronts Ericus about the whole ordeal after finding out what the heck happened to him in the first place that got him sent away to the land of departure. So he confronts Ericus, almost gets murdered, Terra defends him, and Xehanort finishes him off. And then destroys his home world. So basically he's like, you're not going home. You don't need a home where you're going. Yeah, really, he's a dick. Xehanort is a dick. I don't care about the ending. This is taking longer than a few minutes. Alright. We continue. So, Terra, Aqua, and Ventus, they are all ending up at the Keyblade Graveyard. Guess what? It's the same place where all of those Keyblade wielders died at the very beginning all those years ago. Crazy, isn't it? No, it's really not that crazy. Xehanort planned the whole thing and basically made them feel like they couldn't run away, that they had to confront this. They could have run away, and I will keep iterating that they could have just ran for it. They could have they would have spent their entire lives fleeing from Xehanort and Vanitas. But at least they wouldn't have been split up. They would have been able to they would have been stronger together. Terra might have been able to be able to grow more in himself and not have his self-esteem just fucking devastated. Ventus, oh god, poor Ventus, Jesus. Never, just ooh. Just ooh. So the confrontation goes down. It's a Pyrrhic victory, as it's called. Basically a win with a great cost. Like, a great cost. Terra does beat up Xehanort, but his body gets stolen, and he does not get it back. And what remains of him is his suit of armor that contains his will. If you know what that is, you are probably traumatized. Understandably. I don't want to go near him either. Anyway. But yeah, there's a reason why he had like all the fucking smoke for Sora and Kh2. Anyway, meanwhile, Ventus has this clash with Vanitas, gets almost technically taken over by Vanitas, and so internally he's fighting Vanitas in his heart. Meanwhile, externally, Aqua and Mickey pull up and fight him. By the way, Bragg shows up for a little bit to distract Aqua, and then she gets knocked out by Vanitas, and that's how the whole confrontation happens there with Ventus and Vanitas. So she goes and fights possessed Ventus, manages to defeat him at the same time as Ventus beats up Vanitas and takes him out. So it's like a war on two fronts. Vanitas is beefing with two people at the same, actually three at once. It's like two fights going on at the same time. Insane, by the way. Absolutely insane. So that all gets completed. Ventus's heart is sleeping again. And Aqua decides, okay, I gotta go find Terra. But first I gotta drop off Ven and put him somewhere safe. She puts him in the land of departure. And then changes up the world so that way no one will be able to find him. And this is a big spoiler, by the way, for later on in the series. So this is why chronological is not always the best idea. Sometimes it's better to just play in release order. This is one of those games that you play in release order. But we're telling the story in chronological, so let's keep going. It turns into a big old, very interesting, very fascinating castle. That all will be lost to oblivion. All except Aqua, who will know the secret. Basically that. So she goes on, leaves Ventus in there. He's sleeping. He manages to survive, by the way. I think he's basically in stasis by his heart sleeping. I think that's how it works in Kingdom Hearts. His heart's just in stasis. And never ages. It's wild. This kid is old as hell, by the way. He's way too old. Anyway. So Aqua goes to try to track down Terra. She pulls up in this place, Radiant Garden. She and Terranort duke it out because she tries to reach out to him and he just ends up fighting her. And then we get Xehanort's Heartless showing up. You'll also get to we will get very familiar with the little guardian behind Terranort. Anyway, so they fight. She defeats him, but he starts falling into the Dark Realm. She tries to save him, but she realizes she can only save one of them. She can't save them both. And so she sends her armor and Keyblade up and sends him back to the Realm of Light while she falls into the Realm of Darkness. And she spends the next 10 freaking years in the Realm of Darkness in the deepest freaking depression ever, reliving all of her worst memories and just fighting to survive constantly. Like, she does get some hope later on, but still, it's like a glimmer of hope. It's just she's in a really shit situation. A very shit situation. So, at the end of Birth by Sleep, Ventus is sleeping in a castle. Terra, his body's taken over by Xehanort. He lost his memories, by the way, after that battle, and gets basically adopted by Ansem and becomes one of his apprentices named Xehanort. And Aqua is in the Realm of Darkness. That's where we stand right now. Skip ahead to like 10 years later. Technically, 1 year after this, Radiant Garden falls to darkness in a way. It becomes Hollow Bastion. Hollow Bastion? No, it's Hollow Bastion. Anyway. Becomes Hollow Bastion. A lot of people get yeeted from their world, including Kairi. Kairi gets sent off to Destiny Islands. And she becomes friends with our main protagonist, Sora. And also Riku, who is our secondary protagonist in a lot of the games. And he and Riku have a huge crush on Kairi, but let's be real, they're also kind of anyway, getting out of the way. Because of Kairi, they are now aware that there are other worlds out there, and they want to go and see them. They are very excited about this prospect. To be fair, Riku also has some inkling that there are other worlds, because during the course of Terra's adventure, he did pass on the Keyblade to Riku. That's an actual thing, by the way. That's why Riku has the key. Anyway. It's a big deal. Where was I? Yes. So, just before they're about to go on a raft, by the way, to try to see other worlds, their world ends up getting plunged into darkness. And Sora also sees some sketchy stuff. Remember that time travel thing? Yeah, that's coming back to bite us in the ass. So, the world falls to darkness. Sora, Riku, and Kairi, they all get split up. Sora has no idea where the hell any of them are. And he gets this random weapon that is called the Keyblade. He's told it's the Keyblade. He goes, he fights. He wakes up in Traverse Town, wanders around a bit, runs into some Final Fantasy characters, Leon and Aerith and stuff. Well, mostly Leon and Yuffie. Gets to chat with them, learns about the Heartless, hears about this dude called Ansem, and apparently he has a detailed report about the Heartless. And so he's like, oh, that's some interesting stuff. And and in the process of trying to track down some Heartless and take them out, he bumps into Donald and Goofy. And Donald and Goofy are here because they are supposed to be looking for Mickey, who is a king, by the way. They're looking for Mickey and trying to find what happened to him and basically told to follow wherever the Keyblade goes. Guess who the Keyblade is? Sora! So they end up teaming up and go to a bunch of different worlds. They have some beef time to time. They discover that someone, Maleficent, by the way, there's Disney villains here. They're basically trying to gather the 7 Princesses of Heart and open a big old door. Kingdom Hearts, a door to darkness. Basically, flood the world with darkness. Take over the worlds. And Sora has to work his way to stop them and seal all the keyholes and stuff. So then the world can't be taken over and destroyed. Meanwhile, Riku is having his own adventure with Maleficent and a bunch of the villains, and he's kind of having a mixed time. It's not a grand old time. He's going further and further to darkness. He eventually gets jealous of Sora. He does find Kairi first because the other Disney villains found her, and there's a whole deal. His and Sora's competitiveness reaches its peak, and they finally officially they do clash kind of a few times, but they really clash in Hollow Bastion when Sora finally gets there, and Riku just yoinks the freaking Keyblade from him because guess what? Because of that whole passing along the Keyblade, he was supposed to have the Keyblade in the first place. Like, he straight up calls Sora a delivery boy. He's kind of acting like he's really being a dick in this section. He chills out, by the way. He chills out, and he becomes one of the coolest characters in the entire series. But he steals the Keyblade, and so Donald and Goofy go with him because they're supposed to follow the King's orders. Stay with the Keyblade. And Sora is like, well, shit. And he and Beast team up. They catch up to Riku. And Riku almost kills his bestie, by the way. And Goofy protects him, and Donald is like, you know what? Yeah, same. And so they all three team up. Sora, Donald, and Goofy, they team up. They beat up Riku. Riku flees. And then, guess who he runs into? Time-traveling Xehanort, or I guess Ansem at the time. And he gets possessed. This is not fun for him. And meanwhile, Sora, Donald, and Goofy, they explore, do a lot of puzzles in the castle. They run into Maleficent. They beat her up twice. The second time, she was turned into a big-ass dragon by Riku because he powered her up. And by the way, Riku is definitely not himself. He's Riku Ansem at this point. And they continue on deeper into the castle. They run into Riku Ansem again, and Sora is like trying to wake up Kairi. Told she can't wake up. A lot of you already know the cutscene by heart. I'm not going to recite it for you. You are already traumatized enough. So he tries to wake her up. He's told, nope, you can't wake her up because guess what? Her heart is in you. And Kairi and Sora's like, what? What? Hello? And Riku tries to kill Sora so that way Kairi's heart can be freed and then the whole door can be open. And he's like, oh hell nah. And he has to fight his bestie, who is now kind of his worstie at the moment. He manages to defeat Riku, takes him out, and he still can't wake up Kairi. So he stabs himself with Riku's weapon. Riku still kind of gets his way. So he stabs himself, technically dies. Kairi does wake up, by the way. This works, by the way. And Kairi literally only has a second with Sora before he disappears. And they have to all freaking book it. Riku, by the way, he manages to... Ansem pulls up. He was like, alright, time to open the door and flood the world with darkness. And then Riku, still possessed, by the way, he stops him for a bit. And Kairi, Donald, and Goofy... God, that does not sound right. Kairi, Donald, and Goofy, they flee. And they end up running into Sora, who is a Heartless. And Kairi manages to call him back and bring him back to life and stuff like that. Also, at the point that Sora does this, he happens to split himself into a Heartless and a Nobody. They don't know about Nobodies yet. They don't know nothing about Okay, no jokes there. So everything's going crazy. Sora does eventually go back. He makes a promise to Kairi that he will come back and stuff. And then he goes on to finish the job at Hollow Bastion, get everything chilled out there. And then it's time for the end of the world, the final world. And he goes chasing after Ansem to try and rescue Riku. So he pulls up on Ansem. He fights him multiple times, mind you, multiple times. And by the way, Ansem is one of the characters that has beaten my ass a lot. Fuck Ansem. Anyway. So Donald and Goofy, Sora, Donald and Goofy, they do defeat Ansem, and they close the door to Kingdom Hearts, which is basically just a realm, it's just basically a door to the realm of darkness. And Riku closes himself on the inside on the other side with Mickey. So they're on one side, Sora, Donald, and Goofy are on the other. He makes sure, and Kairi gets sent back home, and she just kind of has to watch as two of her besties are just gone. That's it. They're just gone. Meanwhile, her world gets rebuilt around her. She has no idea what the frick is going to happen to them. It's a big deal. Damn, that's actually kind of emotional. Shit, dude. Anyway, so that's the end of Kingdom Hearts 1. Also, during the ending of Kingdom Hearts 1, Aqua was like literally right next to the door, was so freaking close to being able to escape with Riku and Mickey, but she hadn't been created at the time of Kingdom Hearts 1 yet, so yeah. She gets dragged back into the Realm of Darkness. She's there for a little longer, unfortunately. It's really depressing. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Hang on. I gotta take these fellas out. Okay. We're good. Alright, now we get into Chain of Memories, which also coincides with 358 over 2 days. Actually, 358 over 2 days technically starts earlier. We got a boy named Roxas. This guy right here. This guy right here. Right here. Right here. So we have Roxas. He wakes up. He has no idea what the frick his name is. He gets named Roxas, gets pulled into Organization 13. He's the only one who can use the Keyblade among the nobodies. No other nobody can use the Keyblade, apparently. And he has daily assignments to kill off a bunch of Heartless on a regular basis. Learns a lot of things from all the weirdos in the organization. It's pretty fun. It's pretty interesting. And one of his besties is Axel. And one day, this other person, Shion, she shows up. She also can use the Keyblade. That's interesting, Roxas thinks. I thought I was the only one. Apparently not. Exciting. And he ends up befriending her. And Axel, Shion, Roxas, they all become friends. Let's have ice cream. We are best friends. Ha ha ha. Okay. Continuing, Axel and a few other organization members get sent off to this place called Castle Oblivion. Remember that castle? Do you remember the castle that Aqua made? Yeah, it's that castle. We're going back to that castle. So there's a lot of stuff that goes down there. And so we'll just hop over to that. Sora pulls up at Castle Oblivion. He has no idea what the frick is going on, but he's like drawn to it. Which, you know, I do wonder if Ventus kind of drew him in, because Ventus is somewhere in that frickin' castle. But Sora, Donald, and Goofy go in there. They kind of lose some of their memories of how to fight, and they have to fight with cards. It's a whole card system. A lot of people will attest that the Game Boy Advance version is better than the remake. I won't be able to tell you that for sure. Anyway, he goes through. He slowly forgets Kairi, and his memories of Kairi get replaced with Naminé. He has no idea who the frick... Naminé has not shown up before this point, by the way. And Naminé is basically being manipulated by the organization to modify Sora's memories to, at least by these organization members, to basically turn Sora into their puppet to try to take over and stuff. They're a bunch of weirdos. This is also the game that I entered the series on, in terms of storyline. So, I had no idea what the fuck was going on. I had no idea that Naminé was not supposed to be there. Poor thing. So, Sora gets really angry throughout this entire ordeal. Part of me is like, maybe it's a Roxas thing, but also, I think it's just a Sora growing up and having to deal with so much bullshit thing. Let's be real here. He has had to deal with so much bullshit. That boy's smile fades over time. But he pulls up, takes out pretty much all of the organization members he crosses paths with, saves Naminé, and he opts to get his memories repaired, and that puts him to sleep. And to do that, he has to go to sleep, and so do Donald and Goofy. So he goes to sleep. Meanwhile, also in the castle, Riku wakes up there. He can't find Mickey. For some reason, Mickey got separated from him at some point. And so Riku also fights through. He also has to fight a replica of himself. Sora also had to fight said replica, but the replica has a lot more beef with Riku than he does with Sora. Let's be real on that. Also, yeah. Riku still is freaking haunted by Ansem. Ansem keeps trying to take over his body again, and Riku's just like, no, fuck off, go away, leave me alone. And he kind of loses, but also not at the same time. He learns to channel his darkness a little bit better without losing control of his body, which is great for him. And he manages to eventually escape Castle Oblivion and gets constantly taunted by this other dude who calls himself Diz, but let's be real, that's Ansem. The real Ansem. Not Ansem, Seeker of Darkness, the guy who took over his body and stuff like that. No, that's an imposter. You're not supposed to learn that until later, by the way. You don't learn that until Kingdom Hearts 2, which we are going to get to eventually, but we still got to finish Days. So Riku gets out. He and Mickey get some cool cloaks, and he's like, "All right, Road to Dawn, let's go." And he's also planning to help Sora wake up, regain his memories and wake up. Meanwhile, eventually Axel does get back. He's kind of like spooked out by everything that happened in Castle Oblivion because he had to kill some of his homies, and also he watched a lot of them just get freaking murked by Sora. Like, Sora wasn't messing around, but I mean, Axel was just as cold. I mean, he straight up let Zexion get killed by the replica Riku, so he's not free of sin. Axel is not free of sin. It's great. I need a breather. Hang on. Where's my water? Good lord. Axel is also kind of distant with Roxas. Like, he will not tell him or Xion about things. And their friendship slowly starts drifting apart because there's some sketchy stuff that goes on with Xion. And over time, Xion is getting stronger, Roxas is getting weaker. Basically, we learn that she is a replica, kind of like Riku, who was made to replicate Sora's powers and basically become him. And this is slowing the progress of Sora waking up. So Riku gets involved, and Roxas is like, what the frick is going on? And eventually everything comes to a head. Xion forces Roxas to fight him. Basically, it's like, it's you or me, and I do wonder sometimes if she held back, but no, this was a pretty big fight. It was a pretty insane fight. They fight, Roxas wins, he slowly starts to forget Xion, which is why whenever you hear about everybody talking about Xion, that's why you always hear people say, who? And then start giggling and stuff and like that, but it's really depressing. The whole sequence is super depressing. Out of context, who else will have ice cream with is just pain. It's pain. Out of context, it makes no freaking sense, but in context, oh my god, pain. Because Roxas associates having ice cream with having best friends, and right now, him and Axel are not on speaking terms. Which is really funny because Axel is also not on speaking terms with his other former bestie, Saïx, who was Aiza before. And by the way, Saïx and Axel also met Ventus at some point. Which means that Axel is like really attached to Roxas because he's like, hey, he reminds me of that one random kid I got in a fight with a few years ago, like for fun. It's a whole deal. There's a lot of interconnectedness. So we move on. Xion essentially dies. And meanwhile, Roxas is about to pull up on the organization and try to kill everybody and free Kingdom Hearts. Bad idea. It would have not ended well. Maybe it would have ended well. Who knows? But Riku goes to stop him because, like, he's like, no, I need your help. I need you to help wake up Sora. And him and Roxas get in a fight. Riku loses, by the way. He loses. The only reason he ends up beating up Roxas in any way or subduing him is because he, like, full-on drops the darkness thing and uses the Guardian to, I think, almost, I wouldn't say break his arms, but he definitely knocks Roxas out. And Roxas gets dropped into the digital world, where his memories are supposed to reintegrate with Sora. and finish Sora's wake-up thing. And Roxas gets his vacation. Which they actually did discuss a vacation in days. He was like, yeah, I could probably only handle about 7 days. Which really makes Kingdom Hearts 2 hurt even more, because we're in the present time. This is our present timeline. He is currently in his summer vacation, the last few days of summer vacation, according to his mind right now, because he, once again, doesn't remember shit. What is with blonde boys and just not remembering shit anymore? Memory wipes. Jeez Louise. We continue. Roxas spends his days, he gets some weird occurrences, finds out he's in a digital data world, gets pissed off at Diz, gets pissed off at Axel. He has no memory of who Axel is until like the last few moments. They get in a fight. Axel fakes his death for like the second time. He fakes his death a lot. He's a drama. He's a diva. Ah, good lord. But Roxas ends up having to basically give up. He reunites with Sora as he's his nobody, so he reunites with Sora. Sora finally wakes up, and Sora finds out a lot has happened. He's been asleep for a year. He has no freaking clue what's going on, and everything has gone to shit again, and he's like, God dang it, this shit again. Well, okay, let's get back to work. And he finds out that there's a new threat called Organization 13, and they're a group of nobodies, and they're up to some sketchy shit. And there's also new enemies called Nobodies, which includes these fellas. Oh, Christ almighty. And so Sora once again goes through journeys throughout the world, defeats villains, Disney villains, runs into organization members, and at some point, there's a whole invasion of Hollow Bastion, and there's a big old fight. One of the best fights in the entire series, mind you. Of just absolutely shredding through 1,000 Heartless. Best moment, honest. It's one of my favorite moments in the game. Really cinematic. You also get to fight along side Final Fantasy characters. There's a lot of Final Fantasy cameos in this. And during this whole battle is the first time that, at least as far as he knows, as far as he recalls, this is the first time that he just frickin' murks an organization member. This is not the first time that Sora has killed an organization member. He already took out, okay, he didn't take out Axel, but he took out Larxene and Marluxia. I'm trying to remember if he took out anybody else, but no, I think it was just Larxene and Marluxia, and he thought he took out Axel, but Axel's still alive. So this is like the third organization member he's murked at this point. We don't count Vexen. Vexen almost got killed, but it was Axel who finished him off. Axel has a kill count on the organization members, honestly, of like 1. He killed 1, faked his death for a moment, and Replica Riku killed Zexion. Anyway, point is, this is not the first time that Sora has wiped out an organization member. And he is still pissed, by the way. He's still cranky. He wants to beef with everybody. And over time, he starts just whacking the remaining organization members. He whacks Zaldin, which a lot of people had a lot of trouble with, myself included. How many of you got Mickey like 4 times in a row? I know I did. I certainly did. Woof! But it saved me. Anyway, there's a lot of revisits and stuff. He starts closing up a lot of problems and things like that. Until finally, build up, we go to Twilight Town, try to figure out who the hell Roxas is. Because Sora doesn't know who Roxas is. He has no idea what the frick happened in the past year. He has no memory of this shit. He goes on, finds out who Roxas is with the help of the Twilight Town gang. The friends that kind of remember him because of the data versions. It's a whole deal. So they go on and through. Also, Sora has to rescue Kairi again, because guess what? She got kidnapped. Again. First she escaped getting kidnapped by Axel. Got kidnapped by Axel again. And then she escapes again, and then Saïx kidnaps her. She's not having a fun time. She doesn't have a weapon, by the way. Poor thing. So, Sora has to go and save Kairi. He doesn't realize it until a little later. Axel, on the way, he dies in the fight, which really sucks, because he's turned on the organization at this point. he dies in the fight. Basically blows himself, goes out in a blaze of glory. And kind of embarrasses himself right before dying. Again, this time for real. So, Sora goes on, ends up beefing with a facsimile. Oh my god, I just summoned all of these guys without even thinking about it. So he ends up beefing with a facsimile of Roxas. And manages to win. So that's a fun deal. Sorry about the coughing. The coffin. Alright, he beats up a facsimile of Roxas. He goes on, continues, plows through the castle. And yeah, we're beefing with all the organization members. He keeps getting jumped by Heartless and getting told, kill all the Heartless, help build the thing. Sykes just really pisses me off at this point. He really does. And Sora defeats Xigbar. You remember him. You remember Xigbar, right? Guess what? He's also Braig. We'll get to him later. But yeah, he also kept saying, wow, he really got the angry look down. You got the angry look down. Also, by the way, Braig saw Xion as Ventus. Not Roxas. Ventus. So that was a fun ordeal. He was like, out of all the faces, why is it yours? He has no idea that Sora and Ventus have some sort of connection. Anyway, Braig gets defeated. And Sora goes on, gets to reunite with Kairi, finally reunites with Riku after he realizes who the heck it is. Because for the moment, he thinks it's Xehanort's Heartless. It is not Xehanort's Heartless, by the way. It is Riku, who just looks like Xehanort's Heartless, who stole Ansem's name. There's a lot of identity theft here, okay? So the three of them go on. They pull up on Luxord. Luxord's just like, yeah, let's just fight. On sight. No formalities. Let's go. He wins. Sora wins. He had to fight him solo, by the way, because of all the gambling games and stuff. Fights him solo, wins. Then he pulls up on Sykes, who's just got his own issues of whatever. He manages to defeat him, and then Sora finally learns, oh yeah, Roxas is your nobody, and he's like, when the frick did that? Oh, right, I stabbed myself, turned into a Heartless for like 5 minutes, and that was it. That's what happened, okay. So he has to kind of live with that. And they eventually go up, run into the real Ansem, who is trying to blow up Kingdom Hearts. He does kind of blow up Kingdom Hearts. He doesn't completely encode it. He's trying to encode it, but he ends up just blowing it up. Him and Xemnas have a little, not really heart-to-heart, but they have a little whole discussion before Ansem, as far as everybody knows, kills himself. This happens a lot, by the way. What is with these characters going out in a blaze of glory? Why are they like this? God damn it, Ansem. Anyway, we continue on. We fight Xemnas like multiple times. We fight him once. Then a little bit more. Go through the gauntlet, take him down. They think he's dead. He is not dead. But Roxas and Naminé and Kairi, they all have a little chat together before some of them go back through a portal in darkness while everything's falling apart, except for Riku and Sora, who have to fight Xemnas again in one of the longest fucking gauntlets ever. And unlike me, they managed to beat his ass. It's a rough time, though. It is really close. It is a really close fight between the three of them. But they still defeat Xemnas. He gets taken out. And Riku and Sora end up wandering for a very long time until they reach the shores of the Realm of Light, or the Realm Between. And because of they end up picking up a letter that Kairi left in a message in a bottle at the beginning of the freaking game. And that somehow opens the door to return them back home. And you think, oh, everything's fine. It is not fine. Things are not fine. And so we get this little tidbit, and later on there's another message that pops up, and they're like, what the heck is going on? You know what the reason for, you know what the game that comes out that results in this letter is? It's Recoded. We're getting into Recoded. Woohoo! Now, story-wise, Recoded is basically a rehash of Kingdom Hearts 1, with a little slight difference that this is a data world. We're working with Data Sora. Pete and Maleficent are there and try to, like, do some stuff. It's kind of ridiculous. They put bugs in him. They put bugs in Riku, because Riku was chosen to be Jiminy's journal. Basically like a parallel of being chosen to be the Keyblade or something like that. And there's a reason why Jiminy's journal is all bugged out. They were trying to figure out what the frick happened to it, and then they find out, oh, there's some stuff that happens in Castle Oblivion with Naminé and everything. And Data Sora learns that he has to carry the hurt and all, and that's a whole deal. And at the very end, Mickey is like, okay, time to do a Mark of Mastery thing. That's the whole deal. That is the main reason why the game is like that. They all meet up with Yensid. It's time for the Mark of Mastery, which, you know what that means. It's time for Dream Drop Distance, which is the entirety of Dream Drop Distance is that Sora and Riku are told they have to open the 7 sleeping keyholes, gain the power of waking, and if they succeed, they become Keyblade Masters. And they also have to forget everything they know. That's the gameplay mechanics explanation, okay? Basically, you have to rebuild from the training and stuff. Kind of shitty, honestly. And they also have to time travel and work with their younger bodies, which is also insane. And throughout the entire thing, traveling through the realm of sleep, they get split up. Riku notices that something is kind of sketchy with at least Sora's case. And they go through each of the worlds, work parallel, side by side to complete tasks and everything. And they keep getting visions of people from their pasts or part of themselves past. It's not fun for it. Sora has no idea who the hell Vanitas is, by the way. He shows up briefly, like 5 seconds. But the entirety of the Mark of Mastery ended up being a trap set by Xehanort. They set a trap in the realm of sleep, so that way Sora would be so far into sleep that it would be very easy to take over his body. Because the organization was meant to be 13 vessels of darkness, all eventually becoming Xehanort. Because the original Reforging the Keyblade was not just 1 pure darkness and 1 pure light. It was 13 darknesses and 7 lights. That's how they make the big old Keyblade. And by the Keyblade is pronounced it's pronounced Keyblade, but it's spelled X-Blade. It's oh my god. So that happens. Sora basically gets kidnapped again. In his mind, in the realm of sleep, Sora gets kidnapped. And he does get rescued by Riku, Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. And you remember that time travel? You remember that time travel shenanigan? Yeah, time traveling young Xehanort dukes it out with Riku, but they manage to save Sora. Also, Axel is back, and he wants to learn how to use the Keyblade. And he actually is the reason why they saved Sora in the first place. Oh, leave my beloved. He also finds out that his bestie is now one of the 13 darknesses in the new organization. It's not fun for him. He's not very excited about it. But everything gets sent back, and Xehanort's like, yep, get ready, gather your 7 lights. I'll gather my 13 darknesses, and we're gonna pull up and fight in the Keyblade Graveyard again. And Sora is still asleep, and Riku, having gained the power of waking, is able to wake Sora back up. So Riku passes, Sora fails. It's kind of a parallel, or I guess it's kind of a parallel to Terra and Sora. Terra and Riku are basically parallels, and Riku has the support. He has the help to make things better. Basically, he sort of rights the wrongs that happened to Terra. He gets to build. His character gets to build up. Thank goodness. Poor Terra. Also, throughout the entirety of Dream Drop Distance, he gets just constantly harassed about turn to the darkness, turn to the darkness, turn to the darkness, and the Ansem Seeker of Darkness, it keeps harassing him. It's really annoying at this point. The poor guy. He's just constantly getting harassed by Xehanort because unfortunately Terra is he's very reminiscent of Terra. Except he actually has a better support system. Sorry, Ventus and Aqua. Unfortunately, you are not the support system that Terra needed. He needed more support. He needed a lot more. So yeah, dream drop distance. That's fun, isn't it? And now we get into Kingdom Hearts 3. Sora was completely stripped of all of his strength and power after what happened in the Mark of Mastery exam. So he is feeling really, really down on himself. And throughout the entirety of the story, he's supposed to try to learn the power of waking and get his strength back. That is the main plot line of Sora. And throughout the worlds, I need to play through the game again. I need to play through the game again and try to analyze it. Someone put it in such a good way of why it was important for him to go on that journey. Meanwhile, Riku, who is now a Keyblade Master, he and Mickey are pulling up to the Realm of Darkness to try to go and locate Aqua, because Aqua is the key to locating where Ventus and Terra are. Because she's the only one who knows what the frick happened to those two at this point. Nobody else does. Nobody else. Nope. So there's, like, a lot going on. The new organization is organized. There's a lot of throwbacks. We get some of our old favorites, including Larxene and Marluxia, who did get murked. And by the way, they do remember Sora. Sora has no memory of them, by the way. So when they pull up on him, he's like, "Who?" And he's like, and in Marluxia's case, it's so funny. He's like, "Yeah, I'd rather forget you. You suck." That's not the exact wording, but it sure felt like it. Alright, continuing on. Sora is actually constantly just he's going deeper and deeper into depression throughout the entirety of this, by the way. He's just getting more and more depressed, and his self-esteem gets really broken down throughout the entire game. Like, he's not having a good time. Kingdom Hearts 3 should have a subtitle, Depression. Because that's what it is. It's just straight up depression and the breakdown of Sora's self-esteem. It's really depressing. So we go through. The group finally, they do rescue Aqua, by the way. Sora has no idea. Sora doesn't have the power of waking, but he goes to the Realm of Darkness anyway to go and help save Aqua. Kairi and Lee are being trained in some weird time dilation chamber to wield the Keyblade. And Lee keeps having flashbacks of Xion through Kairi because Kairi has some resemblance to Xion. It's a whole thing. So while all this is happening, Sora does eventually help rescue Aqua. Also, there's a lot of replica stuff going on. There's a lot of shit going down in the game. It's crazy. It's a bunch of shit going on. There's like some behind the scenes espionage and shit. It's great. It's honestly great, actually. We get some flashbacks of other organization members. Well, actually, it's not flashbacks. They're flash forwards. It's really funny and awkward for Sora on the ones that are now on their side. He has no idea who Zexion was. He does know Zaldin, so it's kind of awkward. But it's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. It's okay. But yeah, Sora goes through his journey, and they get Aqua back. She's pretty happy, but she's like, no time for recovery. Let's go wake up Ven. He's waited way too freaking long. So they go to wake up Ven. She puts the Castle Oblivion back to Land of Departure. It's a beautiful, magical scene, by the way. They go there. By the way, during this journey, Vanitas is pulled up. Vanitas is also told that, yeah, there's something going on with Ventus, and they do find out that Ventus's heart has just been chilling with Sora the entire time. And Sora ends up managing to wake up Ventus just in time to save Aqua, because Vanitas pulls up again, and Aqua is just like, I'll take care of him this time, even though she has not, she has been wiped out. She has not had a fun time in a while. The girl needs rest, honestly. But Ventus gets woken up. Ventus gets a little bit of trauma flashback seeing Sora, but he chills out. We don't have an awkward moment between, no, we do have a fun moment between, Lee and Ventus when they all pull up and get to reunite. So we got our 7 lights. They all go to the Keyblade Graveyard. And we're like, okay, let's go. They get freaking destroyed. Terranort wipes out the majority of them. Donald kills himself, almost, killing Terranort. And they all get wiped out by a big-ass Heartless tornado. And it's like, well, shoot, that's it. Also, during the entire story, there's like some framing device of younger Xehanort and Ericus. You don't know that it's them, but it's pretty obvious based on the color coding and stuff. And also the intro makes it pretty clear. But Sora decides, I'm gonna use the power of waking to save everybody in time travel. He is not supposed to use this. This is not how it works. But he brings himself back to life, brings everybody back to life and saves them. And they get to try again. Also during this, he makes contact with Naminé, and Naminé goes and like gets some help, and it's great. You know what the help is? It's Lingering Will. Lingering Will goes and beefs it out with Terranort again, and I think he actually wins. Yeah. No, he doesn't win. No, he does win. Does he win? I don't remember. It's a whole thing. Because Terranort is still around later, because Terra's got to survive so that way his body can get put back together. I don't remember half of Remind, okay? There's a lot of stuff going on. There is time travel up the wazoo. It's bonkers. But one by one, each of the organization members gets taken out, and we get a fantastic reunion between Xion and Roxas, because Roxas is one of the replica. Vexen has passed along some spare replicas, so that way they can bring back some other people. And yeah. So we get Roxas back. Yay! We get to have the Sea Salt Trio reunited. Yay! And Kairi gets kidnapped. Shit. But we also managed to save Terra. Yay! Because Terra's heart gets reunited with himself and he manages to free himself finally after all these frickin' years. Although it might not be long in his mind because of time travel bullshit. So that's great for him. He gets to reunite with his besties. They have a sob about it because let's be real. They've been through some shit. They have really been through some shit. So we get to the end. Most of the organization members are dead. Unfortunately, Kairi got kidnapped, and she gets stabbed by the main Xehanort. The final 3 Xehanorts all get taken out by Riku, Mickey, and Sora. And Sora is just fucking devastated because guess what? Xehanort still makes the goddamn Keyblade by killing Kairi. Poor thing. She is not having a fun time. So Sora's pissed. He goes and chases after Master Xehanort, and he does eventually defeat him. But the problem is, Kairi's still gone. So he decides to abuse the power of waking one last time, goes through this whole journey. You see it in Remind. And at the very end of Remind, you find out that him abusing the power of waking like that, it's not supposed to be used like that. He ends up basically trading his life for Kairi's. He gives up his life and fades from existence. And Kairi gets to survive, and they all get to hang out on Destiny Islands. But Sora is still freaking gone. So now, here we are at the end. And at this point, Riku and everybody, they're all trying to find Sora. They're all trying to bring him back. Terra, Aqua, and Ven are checking out the Realm of Darkness. They got their armor. They're fine. They're going to check out the Realm of Darkness. They get to kind of move on with their lives. Everybody's looking for Sora. Everybody. Meanwhile, Sora is in some random-ass place called Quadratum, which is essentially an afterlife for him. And you know who he meets? I didn't mention this before, but in Union Cross, there was a lot of shit that went down. And during that timeline, one of the Union leaders, it just so happens to be a certain certain organization member's original self. You know, Marluxia? Lorium. Yeah, that's him. And his sister got murked by a possessed Ventus. Ventus really keeps getting possessed. It's not a fun time for him. But you know what? Marluxia's sister is also there. I don't think she knows who Sora is, but they're there. They're on the other side. Eventually, Riku is gonna get there. We don't know when. We know that he's going to get there at some point. They're gonna get Sora back. It's gonna happen. And also, there's some sketchy shit going on, because guess what? The Master of Masters is somewhere in Quadratum, which is the same side where Sora and Strelitzia are. That's where they're at. Some sort of whack afterlife or something like that. Unreality? Something like that. Oh, it's chaos. And you remember Brig. You remember how I said that there's some sketchy shit going on with him? There is some sketchy shit going on with him. He was looking for a box throughout the entire thing. He managed to find said box, which, by the way, Maleficent and Pete were also trying to find. Maleficent has also done some time travel bullshit. That's why she knows about the box in the first place. But because of everything, guess who comes up again? The Union leaders. The original ones. The ones that were in the 5 factions that all ended up killing each other in the first place. Except for one of them. One of them called Ava. She's gone. We don't know what happened to her. We have no idea what happened to her. Nope. Not a thing. But Brig is like, guess what? It's a long story. There's a box. Also, he's this guy Lushu, who is the 6th apprentice of the Master of Masters, and something tells me he's gonna have some shenanigans. Also, the Master Xehanort's Keyblade, yeah, that was originally his. He just passed it down, and then he got it back. And now he's like, alright, game time, let's go. So that's where we're at with Kingdom Hearts. Oh my god, where am I going? Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's Kingdom Hearts in a nutshell. I told you I could explain it. I can explain it. Okay, maybe not in 5 minutes though. Certainly not in 5 minutes. Jeez Louise, why am I like this? Why are you like this, brain? Sorry, I have to scratch something. It's pain. I need a drink of water. Holy shit. I just summarized the entirety of the Kingdom Hearts series in like less than an hour or so. That's freaking wild. Anyway. You know what? How far have I gotten, actually? I haven't been paying attention at all. Oh, 22,000. Alright. I am gonna pause for a minute and get up, do some stretches, get a drink. Well, not get a drink, but get a snack. I will, in fact, be right back. Oh, shit. Nope, that's the wrong one. I'm back. Hang on a second, though. I didn't want to keep crunching in y'all's ears, that's why I did that. Hey, look at that! 5,000 away from 400,000. Let's go. We're not gonna reach that yet. I think we're gonna reach that next level grind. Still happy about it. You know what? I'm actually kind of proud of myself. I managed to stay on a topic for a good amount of time, actually. A very good amount of time. It does mean that, to be fair, the story is complex because there's a lot of threads going on. But if you know the story, it's easy to understand. If you know the story, it's easy. That's not the right wording. It's more like if you take the time to sit down and like review the stories in each of the games. Shoot, you don't even have to physically play all the games. You can just watch the cutscenes. Or watch other people's playthroughs. Shoot, do that. Do it. Do it, do it, do it. That's how I consume Kingdom Hearts for my first several, god, probably almost a decade of enjoying Kingdom Hearts. Was just me watching other people play it because I didn't have the ability to buy myself a PS2 or a PS3 or whatever console the games happen to be on. I didn't get the games until they were all launched and ported to the PS4. I count myself lucky that I can do that. Speaking of which, I still don't have Melody of Memory yet. I also don't have Remind as of yet, either. Which I know it's kind of crazy that I don't have Remind, but... things are as they are, you know? Oh, man. But seriously, I cannot recommend enough. Just watch other people's playthroughs. You might have some fun with it. I know I've had fun. It does depend on your preferred gameplay style for watching other people play through games. Because some people do those things where they like get lost on really long tangents, and some games, yeah, that works, but some other games it just does not work. Stop going on a tangent. Please focus. We have a job, friend. Like, there's a level of silly tangent that we can go on before it gets ridiculous. Shoot, there are some people who have just done playthroughs where they are completely silent. It's just the playthrough and nothing else. Some of it was just because of recording limitations, others it's just a personal choice that they do. Or because that's how they wanted to do it. Shoot, that's how I consumed Portal 2 the first time I got to... because I didn't have the game at the time. Like I said, I didn't have the dough for it, so... I just watched other people play games. I've always been an observer in that way. For better and for definitely worse. Ah, jeez, that is some pain. Ow. Very worth it. Oh my gosh. Why? Why are my legs killing me? Why are they such cranky pants? I'm gonna briefly not break my phone. Oh, thank God. Windows 11 is finally gonna allow us to disable web results in search. Thank fucking God. About damn time. Jesus Christ. That feature is one of the stupidest fucking features on the planet. You know, if I want to do web search, you know what I do? I open a browser. I open a browser to do my web searches. I don't want to do it from the taskbar. Get that shit out of here. Get it out. Blech. Disgusting. Part of me... part of me says I'm being such an ass about it, but you gotta understand... I grew up in an era where there wasn't as much bullshit going on with technology as there is now. And it doesn't slow down or overinflate everything, where everything is just bloated to shit and there's just a bunch of random ass useless features on everything, and then subscriptions to a word processor. Bullshit. Disgusting. I say, knowing damn well I have a subscription to PS Plus. I get free games out of it, okay? I'm fine with that. I just get a bunch of free games. That I still haven't played half of them. Oh. It is very completely fair in those instances to call me a hypocrite because, yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. To be fair, though, it's one of those things that it's actually beneficial and the subscription is straight up a luxury there. Meanwhile, with a word processor or the other billions of programs that are made for utility, those things are used for workplaces and stuff, so they're squeezing the crap out of a lot of companies and stuff, so the companies are overinflating things and trying to God, it's a whole chain reaction of just, ugh, all the way down. Yikes. It's a grand old time, though. I just realized this is the longest I've... Wait, did I already take him out? Where'd he go? What the heck? Hello? Where'd he go? ¿Dónde está? Okay, I guess, okay. I guess I took them both out in one swing. When did I take him out? Oh my god, whatever. Whatever, it's fine, it's fine. I probably just forgot. I took him out. Okay, we're good. Problem solved. We're good. Jeez. Goes to show how on top of things I am today. I was gonna do lots of stuff. Frankly, though, I'm okay with the fact that I didn't do a bunch of stuff. I did, however, start poking at some and brainstorming some ideas for what I want to do for the new screen transitions. Basically for the stream start, be right back screen and the end stream screen. I want them to be a little bit more cohesive, and I did start something of a draft. I was just playing around with my paint program last night. I say paint program, but it's Ibis Paint, and it's the free version, which is hilarious to me. Because then I gotta watch ads to get fancy brushes for 4 hours, and then I gotta watch them again. I'm not sure how I feel about the current draft right now. I think I'm gonna have to do some mock-ups for myself to try to get a better understanding of what I want. Because I want them to be cohesive, but also distinct, so that way at first glance, I mean, as they are right now at first glance, you know exactly which screen it is. If it's a video kind of moving back and forth, it's the end stream screen. If it's a still that's blue, it's the be right back screen. If it's purple, okay, wait a minute, that actually works. That actually works. I can keep the color coding thing, and because of the time of day that I stream, it ends up working out. Okay, we're in business. Where is the... Okay, let's do a little notation here. So let's see, the start one, stream, screens. I love how I'm doing this drafting on stream. I'm okay with not doing this as fast as I want, but I probably should be not okay with that. Okay, so let's see. The starting soon. It's currently like a purpley sunset with a cabin and a silhouette of a tree. It's good. It's fine. It also has the little chat window. Chat window. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, I gotta pay attention. No, you're not getting me, buddy. Alright. Okay, it's got the chat window, photo carousel. So those need to be allowed in there. And I think it also has the alerts. Alerts. And currently a countdown. So right now, what do I want? I think here's what I could do. I think I'm gonna incorporate in the starting soon screen, I think I'm gonna incorporate a sunset. Maybe I'll just do a redraw of what I currently have. A sunset. Silhouettes. Oh, maybe instead of the silhouette, like silhouettes. Oh, I could do silhouettes as the photo carousel. That'd be sick. So that way they kind of like blend in, they like fade into each spot. That would look so freaking cool. Yeah, I could do that. Okay. Okay. So the silhouettes is the photo carousel. Which does mean it would take out some of the cool, like, little fun moment things. But that would also look really clean. And that would play into the having some, like, not necessarily generic, but some interests that are, like, work personally for me. So this is a perfect balance. Yeah, there we go. That's perfect. Okay, so the sunset, silhouettes is the photo carousel, and yeah. Okay, so there's my starting soon parameters. Awesome. So current state of the be right back is that it just has the BRB text. It just has the be right back text and music. Okay, and it's currently very blue. So I'm gonna have to think about how I want to deal with that. Like, what do I want there? Because it's currently bluish, and I think I want to keep that. But I also want things to be cohesive. The cohesion is basically just making it cohesive so it doesn't have to be all Minecraft. Let's see. So the current Be Right Back screen is kind of a similar thing with a little bit of a sunset, but it's on like a little cliffside with a beach. Oh shoot, I gotta make sure to do the switching games one as well. Because the switching games one is just the starting soon with some inverted colors and an animation over the top. So I'm gonna need to figure that out too. Shit. And the switching games is green, so it's also a different color. Still distinct. There is a thing I could do, is I could just change the sky background for each of the screens, so that way they're all very similar, but the skies are different. So that one's at sunset, and then the Be Right Back is like midday blue sky. Change sky background. So they're all the same across the board. Sunset is going to be a little bit tricky. Maybe instead of sunset, it'll be at Twilight's before sunset. Maybe night? Yeah, night. But purple. Purple. So starting soon is purple. Be Right Back is a midday blue sky. This sounds so incohesive, but trust me, okay? And then keep silhouettes. Question mark. I say question mark on the Be Right Back screen just because the midday would probably be lit. Did I already go through everything? Did I really go through everything that fast? Holy shit. I'm so sorry, chat. I'm really distracted, but this is kind of important to me. Oh, yeah. No. I definitely went through all of that. There was a potion. Goodness sakes. This is totally worth the distraction, by the way. This is going to help me draft everything. Eventually, one of the streams is going to be... One day there's going to be a last stream with the old screens, and then the next one will be the first stream with the new screens, basically. So we got our Be Right Back screen. We should probably look at the switching screens. So instead of... So switching... So the switching games... Since we're doing the green stormy sky, which works because it's things that are changing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then we can keep the silhouettes still. Okay, so the silhouettes are going to be consistent. Basically, most of this, the only thing that's going to change is the sky. And then with the end stream screen, which is the thanks for watching. It's going to be, instead of night, it'll be a sunset. Yeah, maybe a sunset? Sunset, red, orange, sky. So basically, purple, blue, green, and orange. Oh, that's hilarious because I'm yellow. Haha. As in Yellowfang. That's great. Okay, cool. Despite the fact that you didn't really participate, thank you, chat, for helping me figure out what I wanted to do for my stream screens. This is actually going to be a huge help. Shoot, I won't even keep the... it won't be a recolor, by the way. It won't be a recolor like it is with the current state of the switching games and other thing. It'll... Oh, this will be so nice. One of these days I should probably do something about making sure that, one, I can still use my own music on my videos and streams, while at the same time maintaining a copyright. So then that way the music that I have on my stuff is mine and doesn't get copyright claimed by some assholes stealing shit, because there's always those fuck-ass fake claimers. Ugh. That's fun, isn't it? Whee! Ain't it fun? But yeah, that's gonna be a huge help. I don't think I'm gonna do it tonight just because I might get more into it tomorrow. I might do a little bit of work on the stream screens. I'm not gonna rush it, by the way. I'm not rushing it by any means. But I am very glad now that I have a guideline that I want. I want there to be silhouettes. I want there to be a sky. Very specific, I love it. Now the question is, what else will I use to like frame the sky so then that way it makes sense that it's consistent across the board? That's the real question. Okay, it's not a perfect drafting, but I do have at least a general color idea of what I want. So there's that. That's a 4. This is fine, though. Nice. Got my color scheme, which is kind of wild, but you know what? I think as I do the setup for this, it's also going to help me with another additional thing of, one, color scheming that, and then also properly doing more for my color scheming my Sona. And maybe, just maybe, I will actually commission somebody to redraw my cute little kitty cat. Because I love it, but it is a little bit of a blob. Just a little bit. Just a wee bit. I love my kitty though. I love the kitty cat though. Darn it. Ouch. Okay. Gonna sit a little bit. Aha! Flashbang! Christ. Nothing like getting your eyes gouged out by the sky. Anyway, that's fun. Let me do a slight adjustment so I don't have problems with my back anymore. Yay! Okay, problem solved. Why didn't I do this like 3 hours ago? I say 3 hours, it's only been like an hour and a half or so. Still, why didn't I do this hours ago? This feels so much better. Sometimes you just gotta find a way to lean back. Nice, okay. You know, it does make sense, at least at this point, for me to be a little bit quieter right now, just because I've been talking all stream. I mean, that's no different than usual, but it's a certain degree of talkative that I've been. guess what we're almost at? We're almost at the 4,000 mark. Let's go. Because we started at like 26,900 and something, and once we hit 21,900 and something, we'll definitely be at 4,000 XP. And I was going crazy with the 4s while I was, like, shoot, I don't even know if I was really fully paying attention to how much XP I was getting. I was just slaying while talking to y'all about Kingdom Hearts. Oh, Christ almighty. Alright, let's try to get 8s. Let's make it strong. Damn it. I might need to do a sketch check. Alright, let me do a sketch check, hang on. Sketch check number 1 is checked. Alright, let's try the second one. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Okay. Alright. One more second, chat. Okay, we're good. I was gonna jokingly drive myself forward, but, I don't know how well that's gonna work. It did not work at the slightest. If I had remembered exactly where I was, then it might have worked, but then I would have to deal with a whole potential new ball of wax. Alright, all is good. No sketch detected. There will be some sketches later, though. Come on, give me some damage. Please, I'm begging. Please give me some damage. Ooh, interesting idea. Okay. That's one of those down the line things that I would have to figure out first. But it's not a bad one. Oh, woohoo! 21,000! Let's go! Definitely a 4,000 type day, but that's okay. Like I keep saying, I'm here to have fun. I don't want to stress myself out by speeding through this. I am so super glad though that I've like at least outlined something to give me a better understanding of what I want. And it also still incorporates some of the original format setups of the stuff that I have now. So yay. shoot. Instead of night, maybe the purple could be a purple sunrise? I don't know how that would work, actually. Because usually purple is associated with sunsets rather than sunrises. Usually they associate pink with sunrise. Which pink is a nice color, but it's not the original color. But it would fit the night cycle thing, like the little full day cycle thing that I've got going, because... Oh, and it works too, because I do talk a lot about time and time dilation stuff pretty often, so having an element of time involved is pretty nice. Whew. Yeah, that could work. That could work. Interesting. Very interesting indeed. Whee! Whee! You know what's funny is I'm gonna want some food later because I've only had 2 meals today. The snack does not count as a meal. And part of me really wants green beans, but the problem is I keep getting cans of beans that aren't as full as they should be, which means if you cook that for too long, they get really gross and kind of rubbery, and it sucks. That happened to me with my last can of beans, and it really pissed me off. Either that, or me frying some beans in a pan with butter just ruined me. Which is very possible. It is super possible that I've ruined my ability to enjoy beans. I might just have to pan fry beans from here on out. Damn it, I think I do. Dang it, I don't want to do that. No, I want to use the microwave. Speaking of the microwave, I did figure out a way around it, so I am able to use it again. It's just, not powered on most of the time. I know, it's probably better to just get a new one, but things are... the US economy sucks. Everybody's economy sucks, but the US really fucking sucks right now. Everything is expensive as shit, and it's a pain in the ass to replace things. It's really annoying. The only thing that's busted is that damn keypad, but otherwise, until it stops working entirely, I'm not gonna rush anything. I'm gonna regret that later. I'm calling it now. Indeed. Indeed. Oh, it doesn't even pick up on the mic. Never fucking mind. Trying to whistle, it's a small world, and it doesn't even pick up on the mic. Sorry, chat. Sorry, VOD watchers and rewatchers. I apologize for that. Let me do you a proper service. that's not even a proper service either, is it? Do I really want to do that to... Yeah. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small world after all. It's a small, small world. It's a world of laughter, a world of tears, a world of hopes, a world of fears. So much we share that it's time we're aware. It's a small world after all. 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 It's a small, small world. There is just one moon and one golden sun, and a smile means friendship to everyone. Though the mountains divide, the oceans are wide, it's a small world after all. 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 It's a small, small world. There's so much that we share that it's time we're aware. It's a small world after all. Huh. Funny. You know, when you actually look up the lyrics, it's actually a pretty decent song. I quite like it, actually. If you told me in a few years that I'd unironically like It's a Small World, I would call bullshit. But no, apparently I actually quite like the song. Fancy that. Alrighty, let's get down to business. Oh, we're just in a singy mood, okay? To defeat the dusks. Dare they send me daughters when I asked for sons? You're spineless, weak, but that... Oh no, I don't remember the words. No, it's spineless, pale, pathetic lot, and you haven't got a clue. Somehow I'll make a man out of you. Tranquil as a forest, but on fire within. Once you find your center, you are sure to win. I don't actually remember the words. Shoot! I'm never gonna catch my breath. Say about those who know me. Why was I full in school for a cutting jam? This guy's got me scared to death, but he see right through me. I really wish that I knew how to swim. Be a man, we must be swift as the coursing river, with all the force of a great typhoon, with all the strength of a raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. Time is racing toward us till the Huns arrive. Heed my every order, and you might survive. You're not suited for the rage of war, so pack up, go home, you're through. How could I make a man out of you? Be a man, we must be swift as the coursing river, with all the force of a great typhoon, with all the strength of a raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. And then you get the acapella part. Be a man, must be swift as the coasting river, with all the force of the great typhoon, with all the strength of a raging fire, mysterious as the dark side of the moon. It's a shame I don't remember all the lyrics anymore. Damn it. I've lost my Mulan loving cred. Damn. It's a good movie too. It really is. I love the art done for the first film. The second one was doing they were definitely using the B studio, as they call it. They were using a different studio and they were working fast. It was a direct to DVD sequel, basically. Fun sequel. Definitely a little off kilter, a little off tone, but it had some emotional hits. It's been a long time since I made up a song. The years and days that have gone by have made it feel too long. Does it seem like there's time when there is so much? But I think that I have lost my mind and maybe been out of touch. Twice a week there's a daily grind to work up to 99. I talk away and I might sing songs, sometimes I rhyme. I think of a day when I finally reach my goals. I wonder if I will regret it or feel the accomplishment that I have lost. Ooh. Sometimes I think I've drawn out time and stretched it too far. My days scrunch and stretch out as I call it an accordion. Sometimes I think that I can control it, but in reality I'm tossed on it like a boat is tossed on the sea. Just as time goes on, like a stream, I talk about the days that I've had and many other things. Sometimes it's the same story that I have told, but I know that someone might appreciate when I've grown. It's in human nature to tell it again. Just as it's human nature to reach and connect. Watching the skies change, turning to blue, with a hint of gray and a pale yellow I've always been fond of. Soon it will fade to orange, eventually to black, with a billion stars that I cannot see, 'cause of lights all around me. I haven't seen the stars in quite a long time, but I can always give it a try. So I can always give it a try. Let us all give a shot a try. Alrighty then. If you're oh my god, we hit 100,000 money and didn't even realize it. That's amazing. Also good to know the 999 does not stop there. We're gonna find out how far that goes. My god. Alrighty, well, you know what that means with the save points. That is going to do it for the stream tonight. I hope you all enjoyed, whether you are past, present, or future. If you want to continue following this journey, you can follow it by hitting the subscribe button on YouTube, the follow button on Twitch. I also have my socials, which are Twitter, Blue Sky, and Tumblr. You can follow me on those, not just for when I post about going live, but also when I post about other random shit. They are all the same username, at Yellowfang42. I thank you all so much for watching and or stopping by, and I hope you have a good rest of the morning, afternoon, evening, and night. God, that works so well for the new stream screens that I'm working on. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. Here's your end stream screen card. Bye!